So I started to write this article, Is Circumcision Legal? And in the course of that, I learned that doctors bill the Medicaid program to pay for circumcision when the parents are indigent. They can't afford it themselves. And I remember thinking, wait a minute, does Medicaid pay for unnecessary elective surgery that the children don't need? And so I looked into Medicaid law and I found out, no, absolutely not. It does not pay for unnecessary surgery. Medicaid has enough problem paying for surgeries that people need, let alone ones they don't need. And then what I learned is that doctors use false diagnoses. So I found a form, a Medicaid form. Doctors have to sign it, and they swear under penalties of perjury, and they acknowledge, subject to federal and state law, that what they're saying is true, and they have to give a diagnosis, and they make one up. So a diagnosis might be newborn boy, or a diagnosis might be phimosis. That's a common fraud going back 150 years. Phimosis is a tight foreskin. Well, children are born with a tight foreskin. It doesn't separate, the foreskin doesn't separate from the glands sometimes until puberty. It can be earlier. So it's a false diagnosis. And they use other false diagnoses. And so I ended up bringing a lawsuit based on that. But back to, is circumcision legal? My article argues, I would say shows, that it absolutely not. It's criminal assault. It's child abuse, another crime, and it violates the rights of the child to bodily integrity and autonomy, and it gives rise to causes of action in court. In other words, if you've been circumcised, even if it was properly performed, you can bring a lawsuit.